Hi YouTubies, how are you? It's Marie here. So if you saw my previous video, you know that I have lost the sight in my left eye. Um, so I'm sitting here in the back room because it's a natural light and I don't have to put, I've been trying to sit in the dark, but I don't want a video in the dark. So you're going to hear my birds in the background. And so I apologize for that. But, you know, I'm trying to adjust to a new way of life. Now, Saturday I went to a community yard sale and it was very interesting. Hold on a minute. Okay, I wanted to get something. So I had to readjust, and my first big wake up call when went out was my biggest enemy is the stairs, because when you have one eye, you lose depth perception. And so that may explain one of the reasons why I kept falling down the stairs, because I misjudged. So when I go up and down the stairs now, I have to hang on, literally hang on to the railing when I go up and down the stairs so I don't fall. And so because I have one eye and I can only see half of my world, when I was walking down to going down the sidewalk to get to the bus stop, I had to make sure I didn't trip over any of the lines. Mimi, get out of the way. Go on. Go on. Every time I'm trying to do something, you got to interfere. Now move, move, move. Mimi, go on. Um, she's become my shadow. I think animals know when something's wrong because they always like try to help you out, but sometimes they get in the way. So anyway, I'm walking down and I get to the bus. I have to wait. I almost waited like over 30 minutes for the bus to show up. When I get on again, I have to hang on the railing to get up the bus. And the guy kind of looked at me funny, and I said, I'm very low vision, I apologize, but, and then I told him where I was going, and he said, okay, I'll let you know when we get there. All right, okay. And he was very cool about it. So, got on the bus, and like I said, it's a totally different world for me. And yeah, I'm going to be talking about this a lot, so, if you don't want to hear me talk about having low vision, you don't have to watch me. But this is where I'm at right now. Like I said in my other video, my world has completely changed. So I get up and I walk to the, hold on. Mimi, leave me alone. Go on. Um, so now, I'm sorry. So now I'm walking to the community yard sale, and you have to go downstairs and it's dark. So good thing I had my phone because I can use the little light. It has a little, a light, right? A flashlight. So I'm looking around, and my other big issue that I had was running into people or having people run into me, or because I'm blind on this side, I'm always like jumping because I see somebody come out from nowhere, and startles me because I don't see them on this side until I look. And that's the other thing. When I'm walking around and looking, or even do anything around here, I gotta always turn my head to see what I'm doing. And now my neck is kind of hurting because of that. Um, so now my neck is gonna get a lot of exercise from turning. Um, and so I start walking around, and it was packed. It was packed. There were a lot of people there. There were a lot of vendors there. There were a lot of professional sellers there. And I could tell because of the way they had set up their little area. And it was great. And there was a lot of people selling um, clothes because, school's going to start. Many of them were selling shoes. Many of them were selling backpacks, lunch boxes, things that you would use, different types of furniture, things like that you would use if you were going to go to college. It was packed. And I actually had fun, but it was a struggle. The other thing I had to worry about when I walked through, because you were walking through a lot of people, was making sure that I didn't run into anything that had glassware. So one of the things I made myself do was like, okay, for right now, until I get used to walking around with one eye, don't go into any place that had glassware. So I made sure that I stayed away from those areas because I love the little figurines and things like that, but because of the possibility of me breaking something, I and because it was dark, I didn't want to um, break any of their stuff. So one of the coolest things that what I really liked was that there were a lot of sellers there that had handbags. And if you follow my channel, you know that I love handbags. So I may start getting into handbags again. So I went through and there were so many people selling handbags. And I mean just handbags. Because right now the big thing right now is finding retro vintage Coach bags. Michael Kors. All of those older bags that were made before 2012, people are looking for. How many times in my videos did I say that having a bag made before that was really quality bags? Like now they're okay. They charge too much for some of the bags they sell now. And me, I don't mind having a used bag. Sorry. So I was like, wow. Okay, so I went to a couple of vendors and they were actually affordable. Now, one thing when you go and you run into a professional seller, they will haggle with you. You know, you can talk them into a price. There's certain things you can do that will make them bring down the price. And so there's this one person I go to, and she's there all the time. And that Saturday when I went, she had a whole table full of bags, handbags, and wallets and things. And I was like really delighted because I can always get a good deal from her. So I was looking through and she's like, oh, I've got some Coach, I've got some Michael Kors. I will give you a good deal. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So I'm going to show you some of the bags that I got first because because I had missed all those Saturdays of not going to community yard sale. I think I only went one other time. I would put the money away, and I have a little bottle that I put I put it yard sale money. So I had saved quite an amount from not using that other money. So I was able to spend a little more than I wanted to, but I did get some nice things. So I'm going to show you some of the stuff I got. The first thing I got, she had a lot of vintage stuff. So the first thing that she had, and I was very, very happy, because you can't find this anywhere. I found this vintage Dooney and Burke, and it has the original tag, and it is in beautiful condition. It says brass, solid brass on here. And on the inside, it has the original, let me see if I can pull this out, tag, and it says made in the USA. The inside is suede, and it's like in really good condition. I didn't pay that much for it. She gave me a good deal on it, and yeah, see, so that's what it looks like. And it's easy to get in and out of, so that was one thing I like. I wear a backpack, but sometimes I want to wear a crossbody. So this will be easy because, like I said, my life has changed, so I got to make sure I can get what I need and not fiddle around and look for all these pockets and stuff. So this one is beautiful. And yeah, this is all weather Dooney and Burke. So that was, I got that. The other bag I got, and this one's really nice too, and I've been looking for one of these for a long time, is a Michael Kors, this bag here, and it has all of this, and it's beautiful, and it's clean. You know, this is what it is. I can clean this. It's no big deal. I don't mind. but you go on the inside, and this is from 2012, and it has all the pockets and everything, and it has a side pocket and a zip pocket. You can undo that. And this is an older bag because I don't know if you can see it or not, but you can see all the little micro cores. So that tells you that it's an older bag. And it had the, when I was looking at this bag, I was looking for the date code, because the micro core bags have date codes. And the woman kept, she didn't understand what I was doing. She kept saying, no, the real, miss, the real, you know, I would not sell you a fake bag, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for. And I explained to her, I said, I'm looking for the date code so I'll know what date it was made. Because I want to, I'm not saying, because I don't want her to think like, oh, you know, I told her like, I'm not trying to get, I'm not saying it's fake. I know it's real. I just want to know the date code, because the date code will determine whether I buy the bag or not. So, because this is all leather and everything. And it has the Michael Kors little feet. It has the Michael Kors insignia on it. And then on the side, it has Michael Kors insignia. And one thing, when you look for a bag, and I've seen this, she had other bags. She had a couple of Coach bags. But when you are looking for a bag, look at the lining and look at the at where it connects right here and here, because these can be torn. And you don't want to buy a bag if they're torn. That's, you might as well put it back. So I got this for a really good deal too. And like I said, I've been looking for these for a long time. And you go online and try to find them, you know, at Depop or Macario and all this. They're pricey. So I actually got this. So yeah, and it's, again, it's a very open bag. I can throw everything in here, and it's light colored so I can see what I'm looking for. And so, yeah, I got that. And then I got from, okay, I'm going to show you these. And this woman, I went to, okay, there was a downstairs, and then in the upstairs, there was another big, huge parking lot, and that was outside. So I had to put my sunglasses on. And my doctor told me to wear sunglasses, so I did. And there was a woman there. She had a big display, and in that display she also had a lot of handbags, but she also had the Trader Joe handbags, the totes that everybody's looking for. She had them all, and there were women there, you know, grabbing them. Now I had stopped by and just looked, and there was a woman standing next to me, and rather than say excuse me, she just reached over in front of me. She just reached over and started grabbing the bags. She had like, I think 8 of them in her hand. And there were a couple more, there were like 3 or 4 more laying up there. So I pulled one out, and the woman that was selling them, she was talking to the woman that was grabbing them, and then she stopped what she was doing, and she came up to me, and I was looking at the bag, and she leaned over and whispered in my ear, and she goes, if you get another bag, I'll give you a good deal. And I said, okay. So I grabbed another bag, and she gave me a good deal. She didn't say it in front of the other woman. I mean, she didn't say it loud enough so the other woman could hear. But this woman had, you know, if you see the videos with these people trying to buy a Trader Joe's, they're crazy. So I got me 2. And so, yeah. So, yeah, I got 2 of those. And she gave me a really good deal. So I'm walking around, and I found me some sunglasses. I got me a pair of sunglasses. I got me another pair of sunglasses. And these sunglasses I got. And I got them because they fit over my eyes, my eyeglasses. So they're protecting my eyes. And these work too. I think these are Foster Grant, but I'm not sure. Those were not very expensive. So, and then I got these. And I got these, you know why? So like if I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, I don't want grease or anything to fly into my eyes. These to protect my eyes. I can also use them when I'm doing art too, but I don't think I really need it for that. But I got these. And then, let me see what else I got. I stopped at another vendor, and he had a Jansport backpack, and this was only $5. And it was sitting there, and I looked at it, he goes, oh, it's only $5. He's like, they go up for like $65. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So I went ahead and bought it because I love backpacks, and I love Jansport, and hey, you can't skip. And this was like, a lot of things you find, they're not used. A lot of them are stuff people have, and they just like, they're trying to get rid of it. Many of them are trying to, they're just selling what they can. I'm surprised nobody picked this bag up. It's like, it hasn't been used. And it has a double zipper, which I really like. So, yeah, that was a winner for me. So, I got that. Only $5. You can't beat that. So I love going to yard sales and thrift stores. Okay, so another vendor I went to, he had everything you can think of under the sun. Tools, things you need, everything. Any kind of tools, any kind of stuff you'd use to cut wood, anything you can think of, he had, and I've seen him before. And he had a big spread, at least, of a lot of stuff. He also had a table full of bags, handbags, and he had La Piage. He had, he had Michael Kors. He didn't have Ann Taylor, some other Kate Spade. That's what I'm thinking of. And he had really beautiful bags, but some of them were not in great condition. So, you can kind of play around with prices with a man when they're selling purses. So, I found, and this is actually brand new, and I got this so like if I go shopping or something, I could just carry it with me. This is a Donna Karan New York bag, and it still has us on here. I think this is a factory. But I got it for a good deal. I was able to get this for a really good deal. It has pockets here, and then it has a zipper, and then 2 pockets there. And it's brand new. It's clean. It still has this in it. So this hasn't even been used. So, and it's got leather trim on it. It's a really great bag. And this is all in good condition. This is what I'm looking for. This, and whether or not the corners are messed up, or split. Because sometimes the leather splits. And one thing he did have, and I wish it was in good condition, he had a Juicy Couture. And I've been looking for a Juicy Couture Daydreamer bag. But if you go like on eBay, or I don't want to say Macari, but like Facebook Marketplace or whatever, they want like $600 for a bag. That's just gouging. To me, that's just gouging. And he had one, but it was so, this part here was messed up, and then the corner pipings, and that's, but Juicy Couture is a fabric bag. It's a velvet bag. But he would have given it to me at a really cheap price, but I just like, that's just, to me, was just throwing money away. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. As much as I would have loved to have gotten that Juicy Couture bag. I'm like, no. So I got this one instead. And this one is something like I can take with me when I go shopping or whatever, and I can just throw things in, and there you go, So I got that. Then I got me this was $2. I got this for my phone. I really wanted it for this, so I got that, and I got some more stuff here. I also got this man, he had a table, cameras, Polaroid cameras, cameras you can do filming on. I mean, videotaping cameras or whatever you want to call them. This guy had a beautiful display. I went in, I always wanted a camera, but Amazon is too expensive and they're cheap. So I was looking at the cameras, and I just sort of asked him, I said, do do these work? And he said, yeah, I check them all before I sell them. Not only did he make sure they worked, he had batteries in them, and he showed you how to use the camera. And I was so ecstatic. So I got me this camera, and it is a Nikon. And I used to have one of these, but it was black. But I was so excited to get that. So now I just got to buy me some film, and I can take a picture. But he turned it on, had it all working, like, this is how you do it, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay. So I can use my good eye and take pictures. So I got that. And then there was another, and I got one of these. This was $1. So I got this so I could just put water in or whatever. And I came from some Busch Gardens. I don't know where it is. So it's called Iron Gwazi. I don't know, but he had a couple of these sitting there, the guy who was selling this. And you find a lot of crazy stuff at these places. Okay, I have couple more things to show you. I got this. I'm going to give it to my friend. It's by Mary Kay. It's vintage. It's beautiful. It's from her signature collection. And, yeah, it's pretty. And then I got some more of these little things that you put on your Crocs. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them. I got a cow. I'm not going to show all of these though. I love the Powerpuff Girls, so I got a Powerpuff Girl. And I got this one. And I got another Powerpuff Girls. I've always liked the Powerpuff Girls. I used to have the movie, but I don't know where it went. So yeah, I got all of that. And then, okay, the last couple of things to show you. Oh, I got this too, and the person, when you see this, you'll know who it's for. I found this. This was buried under a lot of stuff. This is all, look at that, isn't that pretty? Frida Kahlo, the artist. So, yeah. I saw that, and the lady gave me a really good deal on it. And then I just got this little wallet, and I got this wallet. This is probably from Ross because of the little thing. Ross or Claire's. But it's just a simple wallet, and I thought I can just use this to put my card in, put my bus card and stuff, and just like carry this so it can be my dummy wallet. You know what I mean? So it's on like inside, well, you know what I mean. So I can just make sure quick access to get to my card. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you is I went to this woman at the very end. Like, I'll go through and see everything, and then I'll go, because I went around 11, so I was there near the end of closing. That's the best time when people will really shoot down their prices because they don't want to have to pack it all up and take it all home. So this one woman, she was there with her husband. She was selling Michael Kors, and she had Coach and Michael Kors, and boy, did she have some beautiful handbags. And I had gone by before, but he had priced them a little higher than I was willing to pay. He had vintage leather Coach. All you women out there who love Coach, you know what I'm talking about. Oh my goodness. But I didn't get one of those because they were a little too pricey. So I made my way back just to see what was going on. So he wasn't there, but the wife was there. And I came back and I saw this one bag that I wanted. I had saw it before, and he gave me a higher price. But I went back and I looked at it, and I said, I asked her, you know, like, how much do you want for this bag? I really like it. Beautiful bag. She gave me it for a really good deal. And then she had a box full of wallets. Now, I had gone through the wallets before, but I think when I came back, she had replenished, put some more stuff in there. So the first thing I got me a little Michael Kors wallet. These are really nice. This is from 2012. And it's in perfect condition. She said she never used it, and I believe her. She gave me a good deal because it was missing the wrist thing on here. So yeah, and this is really easy. And see the lining? It's got the older lining in it. So I really like that. And she gave me a good deal on this. And then this is the one. This was the handbag I wanted. And those of you who know me know that I love Coach. And this is it. This is the crystal bag. And it is gorgeous. And this is not a factory bag. This is a full price bag. And it's the leather on this. This woman never used it. Like, you know, you'll buy something and it'll just sit there and you'll never use it. And she had to, you know, look at this. How clean that is. And look. You know, she said it was just sitting around, and I said, you know, I walked by earlier and I wanted the bag, but I said I wanted to keep shopping, and I said it was still here. I'm gonna pick it up. And she says, well, I guess you were meant to have it. So I went ahead, and I was so happy because she gave me such a good deal, and I bought this and the wallet, and I got a really good deal, and it was less than what you would think I would pay. So that. You know, I was like really happy to find this. So, yeah. And there is a little spot right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. See that little, yeah, Mimi decided to. If you have a cat, keep them away from your leather bags, because cats, I don't know what it is. I had this with Loomis too. They love to chew and scratch on leather. So maybe they should make some toys out of leather for cats, huh? So anyway, I went ahead and I got that. And that is my haul from my community yard sale. And I had fun. It was a struggle. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's things I'm gonna have to learn to navigate and get around. And it's really, really different when you have one eye to deal with. Leaving, again, going up and down the stairs, I had to be careful. Like, I really do have to be careful. And the other thing I learned, like I said in my last video, you really lose a sense of balance because your brain depends on two. And so if it doesn't have it, it kind of wiggles around until it's kind of like focusing. Like you have those things where they try to balance and the thing with a little liquid inside, and it keeps going around until you have it set right. It's like that. So I'm sitting here, and people probably think I'm walking around drunk. I'm serious. Like, this woman got some issues. I'm looking at, and people are like getting out of the way and everything, and you know. But it kind of took my mind off for a while. But then I was still reminded because it was a struggle. And even when I went outside and looked at the parking lot itself and was looking around, I had to stay away from glass products. So anytime. But it was packed, so I tried to make sure to try to walk in the middle, or I would go on the side where I had my right eye so I could see all the stuff. So what I did was I purposely went down one aisle on my right side and then turned around and then went again on this side of the right aisle on the other side. So that way I can see but not get close enough to knock things over, because there weren't a lot of people, and some of them just wouldn't move. So I would wait, and then when they got out of the way, then when they left, then I would go in and look. And but there's so much that I have to learn, and so I'm going to share all that with you as I go on this new journey. And you know, the only thing I can do is just have a positive attitude and look at this as a different way of life, because I see a lot of things on Facebook, and there's a lot of people on there that are really sad, and it is like, hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. So this morning I drew a picture just to see how I was able to draw. And this is what I drew. So it says, seeing life through a different lens. And it's a bird with no eye, no left eye. But I just wanted to see if I was able to. Now, of course, what I did when I did draw was I pulled it to the right side. Because I see here, it's like, I can't see it. So anyway, I'm still able to draw, but it took me a little bit longer to navigate. And like I said, this whole journey is one about adjustment. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, this is my new world. This is my new reality, according to what I have right now. So I'm thinking of putting a patch on here because it does interfere with this eye. So I see this gray blob. So anyway, thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for commenting. And just bear with me until I'm able to get everything. And maybe I'll never get used to it. I don't know. But just bear with me and know I love you and I keep you in my prayers. And this is my new reality. So anyway, you have a good one and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.